Today we will be talking about volcanoes, plate tectonics, and much more. Before we talk about plate tectonics and volcanoes, which are the more complex ideas, we will first talk about the basics, layers of inner Earth. The first layer, the lithosphere, is the thinnest layer and the only one you can actually touch. The second layer, known as the asthenosphere or the mantle, is the largest layer found inside of the Earth. This is where magma comes from. The outer core is a liquid layer made up of melted metals. The inner core is solid and very dense and is made of iron. It is extremely hot, an estimated 7,772 degrees Fahrenheit. The next thing we are going to talk about are plate tectonics. What are plate tectonics? Tectonic plates are what create mountains, trenches, and volcanoes. There are two kinds of plates. The oceanic plates are 4 to 7 miles thick and young compared to the continental crust. These plates are mainly made up of basalt, but they are very dense but surprisingly thin. Continental plates average 20 to 25 miles thick, with a maximum of 45 miles thick. Where do we find tectonic plates? Plate tectonics are what forms the lithosphere. Although there are many other smaller plates, there are 7 major plates such as the Eurasian, North American, Pacific, African, South American, Antarctic, and Indian Australian. This map shows a vague outline of where these plates are. Convergent boundaries or destructive plate boundaries. This is an oceanic and continental plate creating this convergent boundary. This is a continental-continental boundary. And finally, an oceanic-oceanic boundary. Now these are just some fun facts and notes on convergent boundaries. An actively deforming region when two plates or fragments of lithosphere collide. Due to pressure, friction, and melting in the mantle, during plate changes, earthquakes, and volcanoes can occur. Oceanic plates go below the continental plates. This is called subduction. Mountain ranges such as the Himalayas are constructed from convergent boundaries. Next, we are going to talk about volcanoes.
A volcano is a mountain or hill that is formed around a vent in the Earth's crust where lava, steam, ashes, and other gases are expelled continuously or irregularly. There are 3 main types of volcanoes. These are shield volcanoes, cinder cone volcanoes, and composite volcanoes. Shield volcanoes are built from repeated non-explosive eruptions of lava. This lava is very runny and spread out over a wide area, causing the volcano to have a low slope upwards. Although they have a low slope, they are enormous when measured from the ocean floor. Cinder cone volcanoes are built from moderate explosions of pyroclastic material. The lava that comes out of this volcano is not as ready as the shield volcanoes. This causes cinder cone volcanoes to have steeper slopes. They are tall volcanoes with a meteor-like indent in the center. Composite volcanoes are the most common volcano on Earth. They consist of lava and pyroclastic material. The pyroclastic material explodes like popcorn. Then comes the slow lava flow that shields the pyroclastic material in. Once the lava hardens over the pyroclastic material, lots of pressure builds up over time and eventually erupts viciously. Some examples of composite volcanoes are Mayon Volcano, located in the Philippines, Mount Fuji, located in Japan, and Mount Rainier, which is found in Washington.
You know what's even more fun than fun facts is subduction. So that's what we're going to talk about now. Yay.
Subduction is the process when the edge of a tectonic plate slides under the edge of another plate. One of the plates will heat up from being closer to the mantle. This causes the rock to melt and rise. It will build up and become a magma chamber. Eventually, there will be so much pressure the magma will rise to the surface. This is when a volcano will erupt.
Weathering. Weathering is the mechanical and chemical hammer that breaks down and sculpts the rocks. There are two types of weathering, mechanical and chemical weathering. But what is the difference? Mechanical weathering. Here I have drawn a rock, and we're going to show you how mechanical weathering relates to water. So say it rains and it freezes over time, and eventually it would break open the rock because of all the pressure. For chemical weathering, if it rained, it would be acid rain, but it would not freeze, and that is the big difference between chemical and mechanical weathering. Then it would create holes in the rock and destroy it.
A mountain can be defined as an area of land that rises abruptly from the surrounding region. Folding, faulting, and volcanic activity are a few parts of the process of mountain building. When plates collide or undergo subduction, the plates tend to buckle and fold, forming mountains. When very large blocks of rock are tilted or raised, a fault block mountain is formed. This is an example of how one lithospheric plate collides with another.
The two most common forms of water that causes erosion are running streams and precipitation. Streams of water can be very powerful. As the water speed increases, the water can pick up larger objects and transport them